Hello, and welcome to episode 1, I guess, of Feint Fumble presents War for the Crown. We've had a slight change of cast, for not for bad reasons, so don't worry. So yeah, shall we start with summarizing what happened last time, and then we'll go into the gameplay.
Yes. Last session, we were called up by the mysterious and slightly enigmatic Martella Lothede, who I obviously distrusted, but she has offered us a job in exchange for favors and opportunities in pursuing our own personal ambitions. Uh, if we help her to protect the city of Opera from the whatever forces are causing fires in the lower towns during the Feast of Exaltation, which we have been hot on the trail of. We found an orcish gangster or something of another who gave us information about the subversives, and we have set out to locate these subversives and get whatever information we can about what's going on in the city and why these fires are happening. I was heading off to the academy to speak with a notable scholar who was said to be familiar with the subversives. And I think I was going to be going with Andres. Now I'm not sure who else, but the others had two other leads, I believe. And yes.
Yeah, I think we from the orcish thug you or the gangster you talked about, we heard about Mask Marquis, who is the guild the thieves guild leader, who's like a
Mm-hmm.
secretive but powerful individual apparently, who might be worth looking into regarding the fires in the I think Eastport district. Um, and the subversives who are kind of anti-nobility, and the profiler, like the person you're trying to meet up now, the profiler of nobles and stuff. uh, she does apparently write biographies, some of which were unflattering, so that's why we thought maybe she holds a grudge and maybe the subversives might be tied in with her. So I think we had like two. We were going to split the party and have a few people speak to her, to speak to the profiler, or go to the academy, I guess.
Was
And the other
yeah.
half should go to Eastport. I don't know if like specifically to talk with the subversives or to look for clues on this marquee, but
It was to talk with some of the people from Eastport and try and get an understanding of what's happening from the people's perspective, I think it was.
Mhm.
And I know that Kalen was going that way because obviously I am the closest thing to poverty in this group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Would you like me to read the letter out that I wrote to Lord Basri, which kind of gives a different spin on things as well?
Uh, I'm happy to if you want to do that. Do you want to do
Yeah.
that? Okay.
This is a letter that Sir Kelsey wrote to his mentor. Um, My dear Lord Basri, I trust this finds you well. You were wise to advise me to be wary on my return, my friend. With the subject of primogeniture under discussion within the Senate, the city is like a hornet's nest, riled and ready to sting. I've already been enmeshed in my standing. Also, the daughter of that strange court wizard, Zakria. There seems to be something related to the Lothide family there that I will need to keep an eye on. Time will tell if this is but a distraction while I finish briefing the Ministry on our recent progress in Minkai, so that I may travel onwards to home, though it scarcely feels that now, after so long away from Taldor. do not know what the outcome will be of my next meeting with Reynard. If he has not mellowed over the past years, I may be forced to call him out. I shall keep you apprised of anything of importance. As always, your good friend and servant, Kelsey.
Hell yeah.
Alright.
Nice.
So I have given you all the appropriate number of hero points, because if you do a session summary, you get an extra hero point. So yes.
Can't wait to not use these.
Okay. So, we are resuming as you are splitting off from each other. But one new person is approaching the group just as you're about to separate. That person is a dwarven man. What do we first see when we see Fulgorum?
First thing you've probably noticed is the large hammer that he is carrying, dressed in chainmail, looking clean, relatively well presented, but definitely always eyes darting, ready, looking for threats to himself, and looks like he's taking in all of you at once.
Okay. And Fulgorum has been sent here by Lady Martella Lothide. How do you introduce yourself to the others?
Hello, sir. Can we help you?
Martel sent me here. You the group?
Yes.
I suppose we are. You're to act as muscle then?
Apparently I've got to keep you lot alive.
Well, then, well, you can go with the ones who are delving into the belly of the beast, I suppose.
Going down to the slums, are you?
That'll be me. Says the shortest person in the group.
It's a pretty short group, actually.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be by much, as Fulgrim stands at a meager 3'8".
I did mine in meters at 1.2 meters.
I can convert.
I'm sorry, 2 meters, did you say?
No.
1.2.
1.2.
Oh, okay. I just heard the 2 meters. I was thinking that's very tall. Nita is about 5 foot something. Being a hobgoblin, she's a bit shorter than the average human, but she carries herself with dignity and pride.
I'm actually really tall, but pretty tall. Like, Cyril is 6'2" or 190 meters.
Oh my god, he's like a whole tree.
I mean, he's a very,
Towering over
very
the rest of the
slim
party.
tree, but yeah, he's
A
pretty
birch
tall.
tree.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, like a bare birch tree.
Yeah, true.
So would you say 1.2?
1.2 meters is my character.
Yeah, so you're actually taller.
Okay.
Dwarves are supposed to be medium-sized.
Yeah, but
They
they're
are.
very broad.
I'm
Yeah.
about I'm about 3 times as wide as
True,
you
true.
guys.
Yeah, I'm like the size of his leg, but standing taller. I'm a small, slender thing.
Definitely a bit of an ego boost to Nita to be standing tall over this burly person here. She was very superior.
Yeah.
Nice.
The hammerhead is about the size of your torso.
Oh, Jesus.
This guy is definitely very strong.
So, sorry.
Oh no.
I was just gonna say, who should we follow first?
First of all, how are the
So-
groups now that Andrews is gone?
Yes.
So I think we have Sir Kelsey on the bridge.
Mhm.
We're keeping an eye on movement around mosaics. He's on his own because it's in public and he's not worried. I unfortunately am going to have to just step away from my PC for a little bit. So I'm going
Okay.
to suggest that you come to me last, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So what other groups we
I
got? Nita.
Yeah,
We can go to the
going
slums
to-
if we want to go to the slums first.
I think
Unless the
Neater
people
and
going to
somebody
the
who
university want to go first.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was Rutherwood or Fargan who was coming with me to the university.
I think it was me. You called me an egg. I remember that.
Ah,
Yes.
yes.
So
Let's
yeah,
get
I think.
moving, Petra the egg.
All right, little potato, and
I look nothing like a potato.
So if
well, I look
it's
nothing like an egg, but I'm grinning when I say that.
Neater does not. Neater just seems confounded. She is has that kind of. But well, you do look like an egg. I don't look like a potato.
Wait, I mean, your head is still roundish, so it's just not as wide as mine. So it's a potato.
I don't understand you humans.
Well, you know there are purple skinned potatoes.
Those are called yams.
Those also exist. That's true. Oh, would you rather I call you Yam?
I would rather you call me Neater bin Sukrir.
That's very long.
Or then you can call me Neater, or perhaps I don't know,
Milady.
you know.
Okay, Neater.
I will take Milady as well.
Oh. All right. I'll try to. I will respect that, Neater.
Yes. Oh, let's get going. The sun. We were to be back here when the sun touches the Memorial Hill, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
yeah, well, Brick Hill.
And
All
she,
right. Sorry.
Yeah, she's gonna head off.
Okay.
I will follow suit.
So, you head towards the. Where's it gone? The Rhapsodic College, I believe, is where you were going. Down here. So, let's just get that soundtrack going.
I'm sorry. Can you ping that again? Where we're
Yeah,
going?
sure.
All right.
Okay, so Rhapsodic College is not a very ostentatious or grand building, but you would likely know, Cyril, that it is sorry, this cough is really annoying. That it makes up for its size with its quality. The Talon nobility often hire bards who graduated from the Rhapsodic College to write histories of the Empire, and not irregularly histories which are biased, let's say. So when you get there, there's a few small buildings around a kind of amphitheater situation. And the buildings, they were definitely nice nicer in the past, like fine carvings on the stone and stuff like that. That are a bit faded with time and weathering. And yeah, they as you approach, it's just after lunch, so classes are starting again. Although it's not so much, although because the festival's coming up, or because it's the week of the festival, sorry. There are people are more practicing rather than doing classes.
Hmm.
So yeah, what's your approach here?
And
I really wanted to go here, but nah. I was
You were
into
going-
monastery.
you wish to be a circus performer, like these sort?
Yes, actually, I mean, yeah, I don't want to write stories, but I was thinking of running off with the circus like ever since I could think. But there, I mean, there weren't that many circuses around. Monks are kind of,
Ah, it
Yeah.
seems a waste of a good family name to go and run off and join that. You could have had whatever you wanted handed to you on a plate, and you want to be one of these rabble?
I don't, I don't actually have any. I am not in line of succession from my house, and I can't really expect to have anything once my father dies, so I'm actually, yeah,
You are.
I would probably be better off in a circus on the long term.
Let's see. Are you a woman? It's hard to tell without hair.
No, I am a man, but, and I pointed my ears, I am not fully human, and therefore my family decided it would be best if I take vows to, yeah, forsake my claim on anything worldly, really. Basically, yeah, to remove me from line of succession, and that's what I did. So,
Nita gives a bit of an awkward smile and points at her own pointy ears, much larger pointy goblinoid ears. I am not exactly human either. So
Yeah.
they decided to, well, we are. It is nice to know that you are not quite as, useless as the humans about here.
Yeah.
Still, it is ridiculous, this place. They call it an academy. Those gestures of some people doing, like, something that looks frivolous, like backflips or something.
I also
They're
stare
probably
at
like-
those people, but I have a wide grin on my face. And I look like I'm about to try myself, but after you said that, I kind of sink back a little and stop
It-
myself from joining.
I cannot believe it. They pay tuition fees to learn how to sing. It's absurd. Not a one of these could speak Aslanti. Perhaps even some common trade tongue, but
Yes, ridiculous.
a waste. We'll see.
I
You
do-
remember the
I do make a mental note of anything cool I see because I want to try that later. But for now, I hold back.
Alright.
Nita goes and kind of looks about a bit, goes and really puffs out her coat and whatnot, and tries to look very above it all. But in her dusty and stained apparel, she does not look the most impressive. Who exactly are we looking for again?
Her name was Karina Ignatius, I think. And
Marina Ignatius.
I think we might just have the best chance by asking around. Like, I don't know how she looks like.
Yes. Does anybody look important on the campus? Like looking like a professor or somebody in robes or something?
Yeah. I think you would spot like there's a stern-looking man in glasses and short cropped hair, who's kind of watching over the students as they file back into the college.
Ah. Hoi! Hail and well met.
Hello. He kind of frowns at you a bit and says, "Are you applicants? We're not taking any new applicants at the moment."
No, not in the slightest. We're looking for one of your employees here. Neither says the name. Completely vanished from my brain.
Okay. Professor Ignatus. Yes, she's probably available. She may be. No, she's in one of her lectures at the moment. You might be able to catch her at the end of it.
Very well. We can go and audit her lecture.
Yes, would you be so kind to explain the way to us? We've never been here before.
He
Not
rolls
inside,
his
at
eyes a
least.
bit, but says, but yeah, he rolls his eyes a bit, but he gives you directions.
I mean, yeah, we're looking important, all right. We do have fine clothes, so thank you kindly.
Salam. And she walks away to in that direction.
Yeah.
Alright. So heading through the fine halls of the Rhapsodic College, you pass by various students and classrooms where you can hear the sounds of music and instruments and singing and oration as well. And eventually you come to the correct classroom where you see a kind of tall middle-aged woman with dark skin and hair and a kind of fine religious symbol around her neck. I think it's a religious symbol. Anyway.
Should we? Oh, sorry. Ooh, she looks cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, should we cut to the other group?
Oh yeah. I was just gonna tell you what she was talking about.
Oh yes, I would love to hear.
She's talking about Grand Prince Stavian the First. So we're currently on Grand Prince Stavian the Third. The first was living about 200 years ago, and he he instituted the Great Burning of Witches, also known as the Great Purge, which was a kind of campaign against Saronite, against worshippers of Serenre, because a Saronite soothsayer declared his family to be bastards.
It's very interesting.
So yeah, which of course was not true, she says. But yeah.
Wait, what was not true? That they were bastards, or
They
that
were
he claimed they
bastards.
were? Okay, because so some Serenite said they're bastards.
Yeah.
And then he was like, burn him. Okay.
Yeah.
An extremely normal reaction.
That's more or less the history. It's a bit more complicated than that, but yeah, to summarize.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, so while you wait for her lecture to be over, we can switch back to the other two of you. So Fulgorum and Kaelin, are you heading to Eastport?
I'll be heading to Eastport.
Fulgrim turns to you and slaps you on your back. Come on, Slim, let's go.
Okay.
So, and we head on down.
Yeah. So, as you head down towards Eastport, you find so Eastport is the smaller port in Apara, and the buildings are mostly made of wood, which is unusual in Apara, which is usually a bit more grand and stone buildings. The buildings in Apara it used to be called the Gilded City. Well, it still is called the Gilded City. It used to be gilded. Roofs and decorations were covered in gold. Yeah. But as you head into Eastport, you can see the various shops and small market areas for people selling things just immediately off the ships, and you can sorry yeah there we go. Yes, there are various inns, bars, gambling houses, other things going on here. You pass by some, like, some street performers and things like that as well. What's your approach here? What are you gonna investigate first?
So I don't recall if we had anyone in particular in mind when we were coming down, or if we were just coming down to try and speak with some of the populace. I did take notes, but they didn't seem to save in Foundry for me for some reason.
I remember there was something about mosaics that could lead you to the subversives.
That was on the Grand Bridge.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I think if there's no one in particular of interest that we know of as of yet, then I'd be going down to kind of like more so with shopkeepers, or if there's any inns or bars, then probably go to those locations because people like to talk there, and see if I can open up a line of communication with any of the rabble of the town, so to speak.
Okay. So, yeah. I think you could find some local establishments.
Whenever he's talking to someone, I'm just going to be standing behind him, just playing with my hammer.
Okay. Alright. So, as you, you find, where's that gone? You find a nice little, nice is an interesting word here, but, you find a small tavern, the Coin and Cut Purse, and it has some people in it. You can kind of get to know people a bit. You could do diplomacy here to make an impression, or to gather information more accurately.
I'd actually like to open my dialogue with deception, because that actually gives me a boost to how much people like me.
You've got what's the feat called again? Charming Liar.
Charming Liar.
Yes, nice. I'm just show people that.
So if I succeed at it, they'll like me that bit more.
Okay, very nice. So yeah, feel free to make your impression.
Alright. Is this to you? Like blind GM roll?
I don't think so. I'm double checking. No, it's not to me. It's open.
Alright. I've done this one as a blind one, just in case anyway.
So as you kind of saddle up to the barkeep and start, you know. Well, what would you say you're saying? You don't have to say exact words, but you know, the kind of general thing.
I would be buying a drink. You can't enter a tavern and not buy a drink, so I'd buy a drink, and I'd buy my friend a drink if he wants to drink. But otherwise, I would be introducing myself as someone who is interested in joining. Potentially joining. Like, I want to suss them out as a group, and if I like them, then I may join them.
Okay,
Hence
so
the deception and the lie.
subversives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
But
unfortunately.
I'd be talking myself up, so.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this particular bartender is a bit suspicious of you. You could hear a point if you like, but you don't have to. Okay. So yeah, this bartender is a bit suspicious of you. Kind of seems not exactly what's the word? Enthused by your implications that you are interested in the subversives. Kind of says, we don't have that kind of unpatriotic crap around here. Especially not during the Grand Day of Exaltation.
Can I have a look around to see if there's anything like illicit going on or anything that might not be wholly legal?
Yeah. You can do a perception check. And that will be a blind roll.
I'll continue conversation with, that's fabulous, because I'm not going to lie, that kind of was a lie. I'm not actually here to join them. I am here to put a stop to them. So any information that you may have may help me put a stop to them.
Alright. So, yeah, I think you can do a diplomacy check next. To try and kind of make up for the mistakes you made. Meanwhile, for Gorum.
Fuck.
Okay. You like those 12s, don't you? So, for Gorum, you find that there are a couple people who are kind of eyeing you a bit like cautiously from one of the corners. You can't see their hands, so you're not sure what they're doing, but yeah, they're a bit suspicious. And Kaelin, yeah, the bartender is not impressed, I'm afraid.
Alright, I'll sit here and have my drink then, and I'll turn my back half to the barkeep and I'll turn towards Fulgorum. That was a bit of a waste.
Yeah, it's not my dime you're wasting.
Any thoughts, or shall we head to the next bar or inn and see what we can dig up?
I'll take a drink, swallow it. Wait here for a second. And I just lean my hammer against the bar next to you and go walk over to those 3 eyeballing ones.
They look a bit nervous as you approach. There's a half elf and 2 humans. Yeah. The half elf looks less nervous. But yeah, the 2 humans looking a bit nervous.
Hey yo. Why are you guys looking so sketchy.
Just coming straight out with it. All right.
He ain't a talker, this one.
So the half elf she smiles slightly and says she smiles like kind of a bit. The smile is a bit nervous, but she's trying to hide it. She's obviously trying to hide it. And she says, I just don't quite like when strange people come into our local tavern and start asking dodgy questions. Heard
Oh,
what your
you
friend
don't
was
want
saying to the
your-
barkeep.
Friend? Nah, it's just a job, lady. No friend of mine. Gotta keep his scrawny butt out of the fire until this job's done, so. Doesn't mean you need to, like, giving us eyeballs. If you got a problem, you just come out and say it. Like I did. See? It works.
Would you like to make an impression here? With diplomacy.
I can certainly give it a shot.
Okay. Or are you?
It's
Are you?
like-
Would you say? What would you say you're trying to do here? Would you say you're trying to like make an impression with diplomacy, or like trying to coerce them with intimidation, or what would you say you're trying to do? Or just trying to make conversation until they slip up?
Yeah, it feels more like intimidation to me. Not that it really matters, because it's the same.
Okay.
And you're gonna laugh when you see this.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you're
That
not
was a
coming
really
across
good
great.
roll for me.
It was a very good roll. Unfortunately, you're not coming across very well. The half elf she just kind of laughs at you a bit and says, look, you want information? Go ask somewhere else. We're not going to talk to you
Are
here.
these tables bolted down?
Yes.
Just wondering if I should pick the table up.
Oh no.
Just so you know, Jay,
Mhm.
Shrekler does like to try out-of-the-box things.
Okay.
Oh yeah, if there's a guideline on this book, if I'm involved, just throw it out.
Okay.
You know what?
Mhm.
I'm gonna call to the bar to keep. Bring us around, and I'm gonna just plonk myself in a chair at their table.
Okay.
But I'm shouting him drinks.
I think the half elf woman just kind of rolls her eyes, and the group of them will accept the drinks. Is Kaylin gonna join you?
That's entirely up to Kaylin.
I think once I see him plonk himself down, I think he's got an in. So I'm going to drag the hammer over to him. I just imagine I probably can't lift the hammer, so yeah, dragging the hammer over to him. And pull up a seat next to him.
Alright.
And introducing myself like, hey, good fellas, how are we all on this lovely evening?
Well, it's afternoon, but yeah.
That's
Yeah.
about what I said.
Okay. Yeah, one of the humans kind of chuckles nervously, and the half elf says, "We were doing better until you lot showed up, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. And she takes a sip of the drink.
So, you don't like us asking questions about things that have nothing to do with you. Why would you take offense? Like, we're strangers. That's fine, but...
She says, you seem like the sort of people who bring trouble with them. We have enough of that around here.
I take trouble away from places, love.
She frowns a bit.
I'm here to keep this one out of trouble. That doesn't mean I'm gonna make trouble.
Okay.
Making trouble would be kind of counterintuitive for what it is here for.
If trouble starts, I'll stop it, but I don't want to start anything.
I think she says, well, if you don't want trouble, stay out of Eastport. If you don't want trouble, don't make it at my local tavern.
Well, you obviously want to get rid of us. And he's looking for information. So if you want us to go and leave this lovely establishment in one piece, then please, whatever information you have, and we're gone. And I look at the other two, the nervous two humans.
Alright. One of the humans, the man, he kind of scratches the back of his neck a bit, like, and then, like, trying to look away from your gaze, get out from your gaze, kind of thing. And yeah, he says, that he says, well, can't we just tell him? And then the woman kind of glares at him. You could make a diplomacy or intimidation here, or deception, I guess. To try, like, specifically targeting this guy. Try and, like, get him to talk rather than the woman.
Can I try diplomacy to try and make him talk?
Yeah. What are you saying
I
to
feel
him?
like I've probably got a better diplomacy check than...
-1. You see my diplomacy in action?
I'd say, directing towards him, I'd say something along the lines of basically that we are wanting to put a stop to this stuff, that any information that they provide, if useful, we will put it to good use to putting a stop to these fires.
Okay.
Good enough for diplomacy?
Yeah.
Really?
What is it with these rolls with me tonight?
I think you were really unlucky the last time as well. Like,
Jesus.
So far, I haven't had good luck in this campaign when it comes to rolls, like, at all.
Right. So now you just need to do everything without rolling. That's what you want to do.
I'm guessing that doesn't work.
I'm afraid not.
And a +4 going to waste.
Yeah, could be worse.
You could burn a hero point.
You could.
You could, yeah.
You know, stuff it. I will. Just because I feel like we need something. Some information to work with, and I can't roll for it, obviously.
You can right click on your roll in the chat to auto use the hero point. Gosh, I want to fight something. Holy shit!
That's a bit better.
Nice.
I claim responsibility for that nat 20.
Mm.
Good luck with that.
Alright. So the guy says, right, the guy says, yeah, sorry, there was a bit of technical issues. The guy says, as you explain this to him, he says, you hear about the fires? Oh, well, then you should probably know, well, you should probably know they... Sorry, this background noise. Yeah, you should probably talk to... Where's the name gone?
I hate it when that happens.
Arya Makatus. There we go.
Arya Makatus.
Mhm.
Okay.
Alright. Where can I find this Arya Makatus?
She lives at the eastern edge of Eastport, so around here. But she also, yeah, she's also can be found sometimes in the, which one was it? It was, is it this one? Yeah, she can also be found sometimes, near, nope, not that one. Memorial Arch. Yeah.
Alright.
Memorial Arch with the Grand Prince General Jalroon. She's not in Eastport, it's over here.
Over west? Oh, that. Yep.
Bridge.
Yep. Alright. Does my character know where those places are?
Yeah, I think so. The Memorial Arch is pretty well known. And, yeah, the place in Eastport is just like to the east and east
Yeah,
side of Eastport.
yeah.
Okay. And,
Where are they likely to be at this point in time?
This afternoon, so she's probably more like, well, she's more likely to be near the sorry, was near the arch, because it's not evening, so by evening time she'll be home.
Do I know if I can get there by evening time?
Get to her home or get to the arch? Sorry.
Get to the arch where she is.
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, and with that we will leave your drinking establishment in peace, and we will go over and speak with Aria.
Thanks, lovelies. Have a lovely evening.
With that, we'll head out and start walking.
Let's see. If Arya is the person we're all trying to find, should we all be together for that, or
But she's not.
Oh,
We're
okay, that's
looking
just
for a
who
different
they
person.
found. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just where our lead led, that's all.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to switch back to? Do we want to switch back to those at the Rhapsodic College?
Yeah.
Sure.
So, back at the Rhapsodic College, Karina Ignatus is nearly finished up her lecture.
I see Dave is typing in the Discord.
Okay.
We'll find out in a minute. Ooh.
Okay, so
Okay.
as she finishes her lecture, okay. Alright. So yeah, as Karina finishes her lecture, Professor Ignatus finishes her lecture. She does kind of she begins to wave away the students, and as they file out, you can, if you want, move against the flow of people towards her and try and talk to her.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, we can also wait to let everyone out first, but I don't know. I just don't like people who like try to. I don't know. It's like walking up the stairs on the wrong side.
Can I try? Can I try to climb over the seats and look like nimble about it with an acrobatics check?
You can
You
try.
know, like when you're like at the movie theater and you want to get down a row, or like at a lecture or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the one who wanted to join the circus, and now you're like climbing some. Oh, you're not. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay. I get
Join
the
the
impression that's
party.
not working.
They're foldable
Ow.
seats, you didn't realize.
Yeah, it's the thing. Yeah, the fucking seat folds down and you just get slammed on your face.
You just
Oh,
face
no.
plant into the next row.
Oh.
Ow. I suppose I'll wait. Yeah, I guess she ends up waiting for the crowd to part because she's not an acrobatic maestro.
Am I back in yet?
Or more so than it usually is, anyway. Yeah. Once the crowd thins out, I guess she's gonna stride over to Professor Ignatus and do a little noble bow.
I'm at her heels, and I also bow.
Right. Where were we?
They
We
just
were
got up to
meeting
the
with
professor.
the professor.
Yes.
I
Thank
wanted
you.
to ask for an extension.
All right. So, and I need to change the track as well.
Work.
Yeah. So she looks over at you, accepts your bows, and says, what exactly can I do to help you today?
We are we are seeking information. Nita glances at Cyril to kind of act as a face for the introductions.
Yes, we are very happy to make your acquaintance. I am Cyril Fargan of the House Fargan.
She starts
We-
flicking through some papers.
Uh-oh. As she does that, I get visibly nervous. Well, we're not entirely here on platter, but we are, well, to complain, we've heard that throughout the last century there have been, fires in the district of Eastport on the Grand Day of Exaltation. And, well, we want to put a stop to that. But
Oh, sorry.
and one of the parties we thought might be involved does not necessarily or like not involved, but that we would want to talk to is not the biggest fan of nobles, so to say, and therefore we were wondering if you had, since you know not a lot about nobles and you've written, well, biographies on many of them, some flattering, some less so, uh, whether any individuals have approached you regarding some of the information you seem to hold.
As she finishes flicking through her papers, she says, "Yeah, yes, Fargan, yes." And then she says, "Well, the fires in Eastport, 3 times, I believe, over the last century. And, which you can, I don't know if you remember, but, Lady Martella said it was twice."
Ah,
There's another one.
"Oh, yes, the first was rather underreported."
I see. Can I try to make an impression with my academia lore to kind of be like, ask her about her research into this? Like, ask some questions to get her excited by asking about her sources and stuff?
Yeah, I think you can do that.
Okay. That's gonna be another 4. I'm gonna hero point that shit.
Okay.
It's the one thing I'm good at. Nat 20!
Nice.
Yes. Okay, I guess I am just...
Gotta love them hero points.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Nat 20 at 27. So I'm very curious to hear about how you acquired this information. I am surprised that someone with the considerable archival resources of our benefactor would not know of this. I would love to hear how you uncovered this.
Karina, Professor Ignatius smiles at you, kind of like a bit of a smug smile, but and says, "Well, I do have another class to be getting to, but I'm sure we can talk on the way."
of course.
And she starts to gather up her papers, and
Most certainly.
and yeah, she tells you that there were over I believe it was about 47 years ago was the first fire, and then
Was
Wait,
that
you
the
say-
one that was underreported, or?
yes, that was the one that's underreported.
Say 4,000 years ago?
No, sorry, 47.
47.
Not
Maybe.
4,000.
Sorry,
A
That would
bit
be
different.
yeah.
I'm a little bit tired. I think
So yeah, the first one was 47 years ago, and then the next two were much closer together. They were both. One was 10 years ago. One was 7 years ago.
I see. And these were this oldest one that was underreported. What happened there? What was the situation? Why is this so hidden?
Yeah, how did you even find that information?
She smiles a bit, says, "I have my sources." And then says, "But to be honest, to be frank, I believe there was something of a cover-up. Certain factions were not keen on having certain incidents be publicized, and well, there yeah, she says their families have since faded from importance and are no longer able to keep things under wraps as much as they were.
I see.
At least not when you have the research skills such as I have."
And quite considerable. Truly it seems your talents may be wasted at a place such as this, writing biographies and whatnot, when you clearly have some significant archival capability. That is very impressive. These incidents, you suspect they were politically motivated, or they were an action of negligence?
Unfortunately, the files I was able to access were slightly marred, and I'm not able to tell you precisely the motivation behind the fires, but I am able to tell you some names. If you could perhaps make it worth my while.
Oh, certainly.
Yes, if if I'm correct to assume that you're just as interested in this whole topic as we are, we would of course share whatever fruit our research bears with you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Would she do that? I feel like that would be. And, well, if you ever are in need of enlightening companionship or company to further discuss these academic matters, I can certainly make it worth your while in that regard. Anita flashes her most charming smile.
Okay. All right.
We have to, depending on what exactly we find out, we would of course have to ask you to keep this information classified, at least for a while, just for everyone's safety, because we don't know what we're getting into yet.
Professor Ignatius actually frowns at that part and says, "Well, I am of the opinion that the truth should be shared and known to all. If you are able to discover more about these topics, I would wish to have first right of publishing on those informations. If you can promise me this, I will give you the information I have."
Very well. That seems a fair deal. You've provided us fantastic information, I should hope. And in this uncovery, it's only just. You shall have first right of publication of any new historical information we uncover.
All right. just, leave our names out of it if we should request that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And perhaps save my name for the history books when it is properly worth adding.
All right. In that case, she will tell you the name of the noble who she gained this information from in the first place. Turio Macatus, who's
Interesting.
Hmm?
That's very interesting.
So when he died, his estate was auctioned off, and she bought his personal diary.
What's his first name?
Turio.
Ah,
Well,
In the
do you
chat.
know of any living relatives of this fellow that you could speak to?
Yeah, she thinks for a moment as you approach the door to her next lecture hall, and she says, yes, there was it a niece of his, I believe? She was slightly involved in politics. You may be able to find out more about her that way.
mm-hmm.
Yes. Do you know a name?
I believe the name was along the lines of Ariella?
Very well. Ariella Makatas. You have been most helpful, my lady. And Eater does a little bow.
Mm-hmm. Karina nods
Yes.
her head in response, with a smile.
Thank you very much for your time, my lady.
So she'll say farewell to you as she heads into to give her next lecture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we have a name.
Yes.
Tracking them down, I suppose, we probably would need to. I mean, we could probably just make a society to see if any of us know where the Makatas estate is, maybe.
Yeah, society or diplomacy to gather information.
All right.
Okay.
I think we're both pretty good at that. I would probably do
Uh,
society.
I would do
Uh,
diplomacy. I'll ask some
all right.
Mm-hmm.
people.
Throw these bones. Holy
What
shit!
the fuck?
Really?
Damn.
Oh god, I'm using all my good rolls for stuff that doesn't matter. I'm gonna be in combat and get nothing but ones.
This stuff still all matters, though. It pushes the story forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
In
There's
some ways, it
nothing.
matters more than combat.
Yeah, nothing that's like
Yeah.
that's true. I've seen some bad rolls really derail stuff when it's like an investigation plot or something.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Do I just know the answer to the question?
Yeah, so
Like,
you have not heard of the Makatas family having a large estate in O'Hara. In fact, you believe that they went bankrupt.
interesting.
Ooh.
They're, well, lacking in funds.
Hmm.
An unlucky fate.
Do you know since when?
Do I know since when?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, about 15, 20 years ago.
About 15 or 20 years ago, and just assume Nita's relaying all this information in
Mm-hmm.
her usual manner. And
Well, that is curious because, well, Karina, Lady Ignatius did imply that whoever covered up the first incident became irrelevant or unable to cover up the second and the third fire. But
So it might be that the Makadas family are behind this then. If they are, for whatever reason, perhaps for insurance fraud or some sort, starting these fires but now cannot. But then why would they keep doing this if they cannot protect themselves?
yeah, that's true. Like I'm also just jumping to conclusions, but it was just something that struck me immediately. It's also, you know,
Your
Hmm?
your critical thinking is not as bad as you say. Don't be so hard on
well,
yourself.
I have had some education with people that are way smarter than I am, and I like to think that I picked up some.
Is the
some
best
there.
way to learn that, and hard work, of course. Dedication. Well, that's not a bad narrative. I think we need to find this niece, Ariella, or she goes by another name. We could check city records, perhaps ask at one of the burger halls.
Yeah.
And yes, I think if we can check the town records, find an Ariella, or if she's well known enough, then perhaps you might put her name on a building, as some in the city tend to do.
Yes. I mean, if worse comes to worse, I could even ask my father, but he has better things to do than. Actually, he would probably be delighted to educate me, but well, yeah.
Yes.
Let's only consider that if we really need to.
At the mention of your father, Nieder seems to light up for a second, then look a bit sad. Then I think we're gonna go and check out like an official government place to ask for an address, or if there's like ye olde phone booth or a phone book or something.
I loved that we had. They have a very good relationship with their bodies, and that's very admirable. And that's
Yeah.
definitely something I learned there. But yeah, I do fight with my fists. In the end, I do. I try to not do it too often, but I do.
Yes, they do say the what is it? The Shadowin's Art of War does say the great general fights only when he must. Ah, that is interesting. A physical sort, then. You are an athlete or what do they call them now?
Yes.
Those kinetic sorts.
I mean, I I suppose you actually like earlier when we talked about the circus. I mean, I'm not a performer because I can't. I'm not.
You don't strike me as a clown.
I'm
Well,
just.
maybe a little bit.
I honestly, I am trying to figure that out. But yeah, so far I'm definitely more of the physical kind. I have decent education, which is.
So you would have.
Hmm? I would have what?
Oh, Lynn's cut out.
Oh,
Gotta wait for Lynn to rejoin.
yep.
Oh, there we go.
Ah.
Still here?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah,
Oh, it's art techniques.
Excuse me?
Well, you studied with these monks. Was it simply an education in meditation and prayer and singing hymns and whatnot, or?
Well, it was a lot of physical exercise, but it wasn't necessarily all focused on combat. It was more of a whole body. Like, they worship Irori, who is all about
Irori.
perfecting both mind and body. And, well, again, the mind stuff I didn't really get that well, but I have an immense respect for the people who taught me, and they, yeah.
And do you worship Aurori now? The master of masters, I believe.
I have a build a respect for him, but I don't think I am truly a worshipper.
It's a fine purpose. I agree. I find some value in his teachings, but I find the emphasis on physical and the enlightening beyond this world is a bit ridiculous. We are in this world.
Yes.
On death, who can know where we go after death? I don't trust those bearded bald sorts in the clergy. No, and no offense.
There's a reason why I don't wear a beard, and I touch my clean chin. So
I
yeah.
assumed it was because you were an elf.
Yeah, it's true. My facial hair is like very, very poor, but I am only part elf, and I would
Mine
have
is
some
worse.
growth. You can see like the shadow of a mustache like forming on my upper lip, but yeah.
Nita gestures at her completely hairless head. I'm assuming we're having this conversation on the way to like a town hall.
Yeah,
or something.
Okay.
we're not standing around.
Or like a post office.
Do we want to hop back to the other two for a bit?
Yeah, sure. We're just talking. And, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If
So
that's leading us to the same place, though, maybe it'd be good to finish this.
yeah, actually maybe.
Because then we could get the whole party together.
Yeah. If that's okay.
Well, we still got the other one back where we both started.
Yeah.
We gotta go collect.
True, is Dave back actually?
I
don't think
is
so.
Dave back?
I could go and cast a message. I don't have message prepared. Well.
Message is only 120 feet or so anyway.
Yeah.
It's also
Yeah,
visual.
We'd have to go back to him. Anyway.
Yeah.
Were you
Well,
guys headed to the same place where we were at?
We are trying to find possibly in the address of the same person you're going to.
Yeah.
Because we got the name Ariella Mercator or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there
So you are trying to speak with the same person we're going to?
Most likely, unless it's a very odd coincidence.
Yeah, so you're probably going to earlier than we are, but we will probably be in the same building, hopefully, in the end. Unless we get lost.
Well, is there a chance that the other two may find this guy on the bridge or this person on the bridge where we're going to meet this person? Or is it not likely to occur?
Sorry.
Actually, we don't know anything about the bridge. True. We're just trying to look where.
Yeah,
where
but
they
you're
is.
on the west side of the bridge, and you got to cross on the west side of that same river. So you got to cross that river to get to the east side where their home is.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it may just coincidentally that you guys happenstance stumble across us speaking with them on that bridge. You just have to cross the right bridge.
I don't know. That's up to the GM. I think.
Yeah, that's why I was asking the GM what the chances are of that occurring. I'm fine with it not happening. I just think it'd be a great way to also meet back up.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting.
I'm back now. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh,
no worries.
I think we should jump over to him then. Let him have a
go. Okay. So yeah, do we want to go to Sir Kelsey Rutherwood?
Okay.
Yeah, I want to.
Okay.
It's been way too long. We need to hear what he's been up to.
Alright, so you were heading onto the Grand Memorial Bridge. Sorry, the Grand Bridge of Empire. Sorry, there's two memorial bridges. You were heading up to the Grand Bridge of the Empire, to see if you could spot anyone doing any funky patterns on the tiles
Yes.
indicating secret messages. Right. So when you get up there, it's a very old bridge. Travels across the River Porthmoss. And there are two so there are two paths on either side of the bridge.
To what?
Two paths.
Pods?
Paths.
Sorry.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Roads for feet.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry, I'm just
No, sorry, it's just
not good
my
at
voice is
hearing.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's two paths, and then there's like the main. They're both tiled with these mosaics, and yeah, some of them are faded. Some of the mosaics are quite faded. Others are quite fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think so. Kelsey doesn't really have a kind of a view where to start. So I think he's probably going to keep more of an eye on the fresh mosaics on the basis that he thinks those would be easier for people to kind of spot patterns if other people are walking on them. And I think he'd look to find an area where he would be able to watch part of the path without kind of being overly conspicuous by like standing around.
Okay.
Or I don't know if there are other things on the bridge. I don't know if it's a bridge that's got like shops on it and things as well, or if it's just like the main track and then the path.
Yeah, it doesn't have shops. It's just got like the main kind of passageways, places of passage words.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I think it just kind of find somewhere just to kind of just lean up against the wall, kind of in an attempt to be inconspicuous, which might be quite difficult for him, dressed in silk robes. But
well, you can do like I think you could do society or deception or stealth here, depending on what your method you're using for blending in.
Okay.
If you're like actively hiding, that would be stealth. If you're trying to just look like you're meant to be there, that'd probably be society, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I think he would be. So I think he'd be trying to look like he was doing something or meant to be there. So maybe he'd like be measuring something, or and spending a bit of time on his laces and sort of arranging his boots, and then moving along a little bit, and then measuring some things again, as if he was, maybe part, like a senior member of the kind of roads and roads commission or something.
Yeah, I think you could do deception for that.
Yeah, that's good because that's one of my good ones. Let's have a look. Deception.
Okay. So after a bit of waiting, someone does kind of come up to you. It's a street performer. And she is dressed in a very colourful outfit. And she says, she basically starts trying to bother you for like a coin or any kind of basically just starts saying like, oh, you should pay me to join in to do this performance because I'm trying to perform here and you're getting in my way and all your things that you're doing.
Yeah. How much is she asking for?
She'll take as much as you'll give.
Okay.
Or possibly a bit more.
I'm going to throw a silver piece initially. I'm going to go. I shall enjoy watching your performance.
Okay. So yeah, she takes the money and then but her performance is not very long because she thinks you didn't pay her enough, basically. But yeah, she does some cartwheels and acrobatic kind of stunts and things over the tiles.
Yep. I will applaud politely.
Yeah. However, you don't seem to notice anyone like doing suspicious walks over the tiles or anything like that at the moment.
Okay.
This might be a bit more of a long-term stakeout situation.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was expecting. So I shall just kind of keep looking like I'm measuring things and making notes and so on. Keeping an eye open.
Okay. Would you also like to do a perception check? Just like for the general watching out.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So yeah, I don't know because this is going to take more of the time. So do we want to switch back to those and then come back to Sir Kelsey again? Or
I'm happy either way. I know he was gone for a period of time, so I don't mind him taking up a bit more before we jump back in.
okay.
But I'm open either way.
Well, okay, we can resolve this now then. So, you do spot that the street performer, is kind of, she's making the routine she's doing, it does seem to land on particularly only on the worn tiles and not on the fresh tiles.
Okay.
Which is interesting. But yeah, other than that, you don't really notice much.
And is she are there specific patterned worn tiles that she's going for, or is it just appears to be kind of just focusing on stepping on the worn tiles?
I think there is a pattern to it, yeah. But it's not really something I could describe without like a visual. So if I just say there's a pattern that you recognise.
Okay, there's a pattern. Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think at the point where I'm confident that I've kind of seen something of use, then I think I would probably start to wander towards Memorial Park. And that kind of corner that we said we'd meet at.
Alright. So back with the others of you. You were if I could just, it was academia law that Nita had, right?
Was it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, if you could just do a quick academia law roll. To see how well you find documents on the McCartus family.
Yeah, sounds good. That's gonna be what the fuck?
Your dice are broken.
Huh.
I am never replacing these dice. These are blessed dice, I guess.
I just know everything.
I can't wait for just to immediately die as soon as I go down with like chewing out
no.
ham.
Um, Okay, so you very easily manage to get access to some of these records and fiddle through them until you find useful documents on the McCartus family.
Hardly a suitable challenge for one of my intellect.
Damn. I look very impressed.
And that does lead you to knowing that she works sometimes with a man called Senator Carthis. Her name is Aria, not Ariella, and she sometimes works with a senator called Senator Carthis, who has been known to make speeches by Memorial Arch of the Grand Prince Jalrune.
By the what? Moral arc?
The Memorial Arch of the Grand Prince Jalrune.
Okay.
It's a big
think
fancy
that-
bridge.
This studying just kind of looks like Nita just mage handing books off the shelf and just kind of flipping through a few pages, bam, flip through a few pages, bam, and like just kind of levitating some books around her to do this.
Nice.
Yeah, she once she is finished, without quite explaining how this is to Cyril, she just points with her her cane and this way to Memorial Arch.
All right.
Let's find
And
our
I-
woman.
Yeah, in the like 20 seconds that it took you to find that, I was just kind of standing around taking it all in.
She kicks up some dust. She kind of jogs along lightly through the street, filled with vigor. You can notice that she's kind of she's stimming a little bit from how pleased she was with herself. She's feeling very, feeling very chuffed, and she's got a little doing the hand wobbly.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really impressive. You don't need me with you at all. I didn't. Well, I'm glad I'm here, but nice.
Wow. If I need someone to do backflips, I think you will be more capable.
Probably. Just tell me when you need me to do that.
Very well. Or to climb over chairs.
I'm glad to be of help there.
All right. Yeah, she
So-
rushes over to go and ambush this her prey on the memorial arch.
Okay. So as you get towards the Memorial Arch, you do spot Fulgorium and Kaelin, who are also heading towards the Memorial Arch.
Ah,
On the other side of the river.
Yeah.
not as foolish as I thought. She goes and it's gonna wave. Or actually, you know what? No, she wouldn't wave. She's not that more gory.
I'm probably
I would.
waving.
She's
I'm like waving with both hands.
I'd wave.
Alright. So this bridge is a monument more than a bridge. So it was a monument to an assassinated Grand Prince. On the Memorial Park side, it has famous scenes. So it has famous scenes all over the bridge. Starting on Memorial Park with his birth, his coronation at the center of the arch, and at the base of the monument in Canal Row, his assassination.
What was his name again?
Jalrune. I'll spell that.
Jalrune.
Jalrune.
Wow. An interesting place to be giving speeches. Is there like a speech going on right now?
Not precisely at this moment, no. But you do see a few people who look noble or senatorial hanging around.
Anybody that that she particularly recognizes as assholes?
Probably, yeah. And probably a couple.
I'll be putting on my political personality where I stand a bit straighter and brush some of the dust and grime off and look a bit more political as best I can in my current look.
I turn to you and just prestidigitate some of your clothing clean.
Why, thank you.
Mhm.
So one of the others do that earlier. It's quite a handy thing, that.
Oh. Yes. Nita is, yeah, she just puffs herself up a little bit, dusts herself off, and,
All straightening up for the wrist cuts.
yeah, it's gonna go and just kind of, use a little bit of prestidigitation very nimbly, you know.
Most useful spell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I fucking love
Hook-
that spell.
hook her,
I can't wait until I get it, actually.
goes and takes out her canteen and shows off making it colder, so she has nice cool water to drink.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, this is pretty near to the memorial park, so maybe we can go and
Yeah.
do a quick little dash over there to find our one remaining companion.
Yeah, sound good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. So, Memorial Park is interesting. It's a park, it's a very old park. It's also a memorial, unsurprisingly. It's got monuments from some are as old as 6,000 years ago. But the tradition is that no one is allowed to speak in the park. Or at least you must be extremely quiet. They have very watchful
library
guards in the
outside.
park. Yeah, basically.
What sort of space is this? Is this like kind of a gloomy sort of place? Is it a big epic grand thing with big golden leaves and stuff, or
There's like huge obelisks and very big like statues and things like that. But there are also trees and things to kind of give it shade and keep it a bit kind of cooler and more somber.
yes? I think I see that. Yeah. Okay. Do we spy Sir Rutherwood?
Sir Rotherwood, are you spied?
Yes, I'm not hiding.
Okay.
I spy with my little eye.
Yeah, I'm standing prominently, looking around.
Okay.
Peter would yell, but she realizes she can't particularly, so she just shakes her cane up to get the attention.
Okay, assuming that I would see you, I would walk over.
Alright.
Greetings. Were you successful?
Very.
Yes. I mean, neither was. Lady. She was.
As was Sir Farragon.
we had a bit of trouble ourselves, but we got through it together, working together as a team.
Good. Yes.
Someone we should go speak to.
Hmm?
There's someone just over there on the bridge that we should all go speak to, I found.
Oh, that's curious. I think. Neither. What did you say earlier about the?
Well, we suspect. I have found checking to make sure there's no guards looking at them talking too loudly. I have found documentation suggesting perhaps support or a link between this Arya Makatis and, this Senator Jalroon? No,
The senator was Carthus.
Senator Carthus, who speaks at the Memorial Bridge for Prince Calroon. And if we are
Right.
lucky, we should be able to catch this Makatis. And, well, Cyril suggested that we may have our arsonist in this Arya Makatis. That this family may have some hand in starting these fires. shall see.
Interesting. I was told that one and the same person actually has some information leading to who the arsonist is. So, I mean, if they are the arsonist or if they're related to her, I guess they would have information on it.
Mm.
Whatever the
So we
case.
should be careful how we go about approaching it then.
Oh,
Hmm.
Yes.
I mean, it was just because coincidentally the time when the family Macartus went. Well, yes, because we found out that Lady Mathella originally only talked about 2 fires starting in the last, like throughout the last 10 years, but there was one way earlier, 47 years ago,
And
apparently.
that lines up with when these fires become more well known is when these Macatus families' fortunes turned, and I'm becoming very southern. This Macatus family's fortunes turned for the worse, leaving them bankrupt, and the belongings of the fine Turio Macatus auctioned off to academics. And, well, that would suggest why they've not been able to cover these up as efficiently.
I guess that explains why they're living just east of the slums, down in Eastports.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Truly
Does
is-
seem
They live in
suspicious.
Eastport? But then I guess it doesn't make sense that they started the fires. Like, why would they set fire to their own? I mean, okay. Either way, we probably
What
have to
I mean, what
investigate.
better way to rebuild the slums into a better area if you first burn it down, clear the road for better improvements?
Or to buy up the land at a cheap price to
Yeah.
reestablish a new fortune.
Hmm.
Number of things that could be.
Yes.
But
Um,
so, do we want to approach this person on the bridge when they're surrounded by other people, or do we want to approach them in their own home when they least expect it?
If we approach them, if we use the
I
bridge,
say with a smile on my face.
well, we are not cut purses, to my knowledge, and on the bridge we could block them off on either side, see that they do not run if they suspect ill intent of us.
We also don't want to be as a perceived threat for any guards or officials around either.
I think we may have some luck, at least initially, introducing ourselves to the senator, and potentially establishing common cause. Do we know what his speech is entail?
You could do a society check or any kind of relevant law skill.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I'll roll one too. I'll roll one too, and hopefully I'll get a bad roll to get that.
I'm guessing
Nice.
my
Yes,
guessing my
a bad
underworld's
roll.
useless here.
Underworld law, not super useful, I'm afraid.
Would
Yeah, I
my
didn't
legal
think
law
so.
be any use here?
Legal law, maybe.
Can only
Yeah.
try. I'm not great at many things, but I'm okay at some.
Mhm.
Nah, no good.
Just for reference, recall knowledge is a blind roll, but yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
Yes.
You're pretty sure Senator Carthis tends to advocate for war with Kadira, the nation to the south.
I see.
An interesting man.
Is it Dave who knows that? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Now, the people who rolled low learn, or the one who rolled blind, I guess.
The one who rolled
We all
blind.
Or did one
I was
of
thinking the
you
others didn't
critically
look high
fail?
enough.
No one got a critical failure, don't worry.
Okay. So yeah. This Senator Carthis. I've heard that he's somewhat of a hawk, pushing for war with Kadera to the south. Yes, we should approach with care. He's likely to be rather bullish, but yes, myself and Sir Cyril may be able to speak with him and learn something of use.
If he is a hawk, I could summon another bird of prey in order to get close to him.
Not a literal hawk. Not a literal hawk.
Oh,
I know what he said.
it is a great city.
Who knows? The
Yes,
problem
there are
is,
some who do turn into hawks, though.
how do we approach this? Like, it's probably not a good idea to just come out and straight up ask him if he knows anything.
I think we approach, we introduce ourselves, we begin a conversation. We listen to his viewpoint, however antiquated it may be, and then we ask what he knows of his aid. I feel if we can establish if he suspects any suspicious behaviour from his aid, we may be able to establish that. The obviously the other risk is if Kaelin's clues are correct and she but knows the arsonist, one might also suspect this Senator Carthis.
Hmm,
So I feel we should tread carefully.
definitely, yes. So, should we even mention the fires? I mean, we
No.
could still, because the Grand Day of Exaltation is almost here. We could at least talk about that.
Perhaps in passing, to see if we draw any response.
Yes.
Yes, all right.
Could this area be, as in some places, champions are used in order to represent the wealth and grandeur of one's house or personal standing. Perhaps this aria could be one they want to. Well, with the timing, it is interesting. If they're such a close companion, perhaps they have a patronage.
Hmm.
But I suppose that is a useless speculation. If you are approaching those of us who are less diplomatic, perhaps we can wait somewhere high where we can see the proceedings in case there needs to be intervention.
You have to be aware that my social standing is very questionable. I'm willing to talk to him, just be aware that not all nobles look kindly upon me or my family, even.
Well, then perhaps Sir Runaway is the best one to speak. Then
Perhaps the rest of you keep a good eye on his reactions and that of this Aria if she's also present.
yes, we can seek out that the girl.
Is it? Do I spot a street performer on the bridge? I'll just watch them and maybe like watch you out of the corner of my eyes.
I could see if I could separately, while you guys speak to him, I approach Arya directly myself and see if I can, being no part of you guys talking to her superior, see if I can befriend her in any way, shape, or form.
Certainly
Make her
worth the
think I'm
attempt.
a part of the cause.
Certainly
Yes.
worth the attempt.
Mhm.
And while on the bridge, perhaps you can also keep a lookout for people treading a particular pattern on the worn tiles. Something I observed earlier.
Mm.
You
There
draw
seems
this
to be
pattern.
a specific pattern. Can I draw the pattern?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a writing set on hand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'll draw the pattern and say yes, the worn tiles. Keep a good close look. I saw a street performer
Mm.
following a particular pattern. I don't know the meaning, but it would be interesting to see if there are other patterns or if there is a singular pattern.
Do I recognize that pattern to be anything in particular regarding underworld stuff?
You do an underworld lordship.
That.
Oh, I'm afraid you don't know.
Yeah, typical. Probably rolled a 4 or something.
Yeah, this table's addicted to 4s. Alright, so it looks like, okay, so Rutherwood is going to speak to the senator,
Mhm.
and then Cyril and I, we're going to try to spot at least the two of us, we're looking for the girl and for patterns on the ground, I think. And I don't know, Gorham and Kaelin,
I would like to, if possible, go onto the bridge before anyone else and see if I can spot Arya and approach Arya. Basically to, firstly, see if I can befriend her, but also secondly, see if I can distract her so that she may not know that the party is even talking to the senator.
So, did you want to be going alone? Because at the moment, I'm still following you.
I'd be wanting to do that by myself, yes.
Okay. So I guess I'll go with the others to the senator.
I mean, I guess we just have to figure out if they're already talking to each other, because then you can't even approach them separately.
yeah.
Maybe we just need to get closer first.
How about you and I, like, shadow Kaelin, and since Fulgrim's going with Rutherwood to kind of shadow them, we can shadow Kaelin in case they find the girl, and to kind of have the two groups. Also, just so kind of know where everybody is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I will be trying to stealth through the crowds and stuff, so trying to blend in as best I can.
Okay.
You not being noticed.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my idea. Like, yeah, sneak up, be unnoticed, and then speak directly with Arya.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess, yeah, I think Nieder's also going to be doing the exploration activity Avoid Notice during this, while keeping an eye out for this stuff, trying to be a little bit sneaky. So if an encounter pops off, she's going to try to, get the jump on somebody by being hidden.
I don't hide that I'm there. I just hide that I'm interested in them. I just kind of look at street performers and stuff, which is not unusual for me. So
Oh, pretty dancers.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, pretty music.
Yeah, I'm probably joining in, like if I can, if they allow me to.
All right, so I think
Okay.
everybody has their positions, their
Mhm.
their assignments in the operation.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. So as you head up onto the bridge, it's decently crowded. It seems like this is one of the places that people walk after in the afternoon to kind of like take in the sights and sounds of the city kind of thing. And yeah, there's like some there are a few street performers, not a huge number, but there are a few. And you can also see a small crowd gathered around a man on a wooden box. And behind him you can see a finely dressed man, and behind him you can see a woman in a long coat and cravat.
Okay.
Is she also up on the stage, or she's off to the side?
She's kind of to the side, and it's not much of a stage. It's mostly like a box.
Yeah. Little
But yeah.
pedestals to stand on, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's sufficient for me to do my thing of sneaking up and trying to talk with Arya.
Okay. And Nito's just gonna kind of lurk in the, as a little goblin, trying not to be, I guess, super noticeable in this crowd of humans. It's probably gonna be a bit of a penalty being the one.
It's not
gray and
entirely
purple
humans,
one.
but it is mostly humans, yeah.
Yeah. She is also literally like bluish gray, and probably
Yeah.
everybody here has like human skin tones mostly.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
So
I don't. I'm just grey.
that's true.
The two grey
Yes,
people.
strange fetchling.
That's still a human skin tone. It's just one of someone that never goes out.
Yeah, it's gamer skin tone.
Yeah.
Hungover gamer.
No, my gamer skin tone's pretty just white, not grey.
I look pretty grey some mornings, but yeah. Yeah, okay, so heading over to Arya and Senator Karthus. You can hear the speech is very like dramatic. Kadira destroyed my family and Kadira will destroy us all and blah blah blah. It's not good. It's not a good guy. Yes, so Arya Makatus in the back is kind of taking some notes or reading some notes, and yeah. So how are you gonna approach her?
Well, I'm wanting to blend into the crowd as best as possible. So basically, my idea is I just hop up next to Arya, but I want to quietly greet her. See if I can convince her that I am. So, do we know for sure that she is a part of the whole fire arson side of things? Is that something that you guys found out for certain, or is that
No, that's speculation.
speculation? Alright, I'm going to run with that speculation.
Okay.
And greet her, assuming that she is in fact a part of it. Basically saying that something along the lines of the fact that I've heard that she's one to speak to get in touch with these people, as I wish to find out who they are and see if I can find out why they're doing it and if it aligns with my cause. Which I'll be very vague on because I don't know what their cause is, so I don't want to solidify myself too much. Just trying to befriend her.
Yeah. Okay, so you can do stealth if you'd like to get through the crowd. And to get through the crowd unnoticed. Yeah, a GM roll. And yeah, as you get closer to her, you see she looks very kind of like tired, like she's not getting enough sleep. But you do manage to get up to near her without being noticed.
So will I be able to do the deception introduction roll?
Yeah, that'd be great. Sorry, I had to cough.
Oh, good. That one's a public one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ!
Okay.
He ain't gonna help you in this one.
Oh
mate.
well, it's perfect timing. It's hero point time. Not a joke. Like the timer just popped up. So if you want to use the hero point, you can.
Okay, I advise you to do it now. Now you're probably gonna 20.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Hey, not
Okay.
close.
That's better. Alright, so as you approach her and kind of begin to make your introductions, she startles a little bit, like she wasn't really paying attention. and blinks at you. How do you introduce yourself then?
I introduce myself, assuming that she's a part of the whole thing somehow. And, like I'm trying to. I'm not wanting to tell her who I am, but I'm wanting to tell her that I'm wanting to join the cause.
Yeah. Okay. She seems confused. Like she's not really sure what the cause is that you're talking about. Do you mention the fires? How
Yeah.
directly do you mention the fires? Is my question, I guess.
I've heard that she's a person that has knowledge regarding the fires, and who best for me to go to regarding the fires and who's behind it. This
Okay.
is all keeping it quiet and hush because I don't want
Yeah.
any other ears around picking it up, but yeah.
Unfortunately, when you mention fires, she says, "Fires?" And then she says, "How did you... How did you know about the fires? I thought they were just..." She kind of looks you over and says, "Have you cast some sort of spell on me?"
No, I'm not any kind of magic user. I don't know how any of that shit works. It's all weird magic to me.
Then how did you know about my nightmares?
You have nightmares about the fires. That's interesting.
She looks over to the senator who's still giving his speech, but he seems to be winding it down a bit. And she says, "Yes, ever since, well, since the start of the festival."
What do some of these dreams involve regarding the fires? Do you see who's doing it?
No, but she shudders. No, she doesn't. She shudders when you mention that and says she doesn't see who's doing it. She sees and hears the screams of the people who died and feels the heat of the flames.
Okay, this has not gone the way I thought it was going to go.
Wait, what? In what context does she? What?
She feels the heat of the fire and she hears the screams and stuff of
But,
the
like,
people in the
constantly?
fire.
No, when she's sleeping. That's nightmares.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
didn't go through on my end. I was
sorry.
like, huh?
Yeah, no, it's nightmares of the fires.
Yeah. Nightmares of the
She
fires.
mentioned that a bit earlier, yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're plagued by these nightmares, but I was told that you were someone with information regarding the fires. Do you have any further information that may be able to assist me regarding this? I wish to find those responsible. I want to try and mid-conversation, I want to try and tweak what I've been saying to be more trying to just find the people involved.
Yeah.
If I can make such a
Yeah.
tweak in my approach.
I think you can do that.
That's why I want to try and keep it vague to start with. So yeah, I want to try and make that tweak, but yeah, I'll be asking for if she's got any additional information regarding who's involved.
Okay.
As I do want to find out, which is genuine. I do want to find out who's involved.
Yeah. Yeah. She sorry. Yeah, as you talk to her, you kind of get the impression that she has been, well, she's, yeah, sorry, words. As you talk to her, it becomes clearer that you should probably, that she is, maybe you could do a check for this actually, because it's not necessarily super obvious. You could do an occultism or religion check.
Am I able to overhear this, or is it a kind of, are they speaking in closed things?
I'm speaking in hushed tones to keep it quiet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nader's,
just
looking
like,
natural.
I wouldn't care if like you guys overheard, but the last thing I want to do is have anyone from the general public overhear a conversation like this,
Hmm.
because we don't know who's involved in the surrounding people. So religion check, you said?
Yeah, or occultism.
I'm definitely going religion.
Okay.
So that's public or private? Public?
Private. Blind general.
Private?
Core knowledge.
I'm sure I'll work
Okay.
out the pattern sooner or later.
Yeah, so, you think she might be haunted?
Haunted
Mm-hmm.
by someone with magic somehow utilizing her as a tool, or by like a ghost or something like that.
A ghost.
Interesting.
Or some kind of undead situation, I think is what's going on here.
Do I know from that role
Mm-hmm.
whether or not that kind of thing tends to happen on a personal basis? Like, do people get haunted, or on a place circumstance, like the place she's staying in is haunted and she just happens to have the nightmares because of where she is? Like, is that something I can differentiate?
You know that people can be haunted, but so can objects and places.
Right, so it could be either. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. I think I might share that with her.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, just gently proposing the idea that maybe she's haunted. And wish to ask her if, but basically I want to let her know that I do have some friends who know magic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it, but they know it, and
Mhm.
ask if she would be okay if we came and inspected her place and see if we can work anything out about whether it's she herself is being haunted or if something else is at play here.
Sorry, I should get back. So you got some information about this haunting, possibly?
I just know that it could either be she's haunted or where she's living is haunted. I don't know which it is though.
It's very
Wait.
interesting.
Oh,
Or items, so it could also be something that she has on her person.
could also be something that her family did, not necessarily
Yeah.
her.
If it seems like they're kind of getting along pretty well, Neder might approach. If it seems like she is relatively friendly with Kaelin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's about as much of a head start as well that so Kelsey would have kind of given Kaelin to kind of get going. So I think he'd be approaching the senator, sort of,
Yeah.
or at least coming into the area. Just quick question. Aria Makatas, how old is she? old
She's
is
in
she
her
approaching?
20s.
Okay, not 47 then. Okay.
No.
Young'uns.
I don't mind if we jump over to the others as they work their way through the crowd and approach the senator while I'm keeping Arya busy.
Okay. Yeah. So, the senator's speech is winding down, and Yeah. How are you approaching him? Or how is... do we want to go to Kelsey or Nita right now? Maybe Kelsey, because Nita's going to be joining in the conversation with Arya?
Yeah, Kelsey would make the most sense. I'm in no hurry. I think Nita's just gonna go over and start asking about, like, trying to use the historical info she got to try to piece stuff together.
Yeah. As I see everyone collectively approaching, I also just, break off from the street performers and go closer.
Okay.
Yes, I think Sir Kelsey would kind of would approach the senator kind of as he was winding down, and so kind of as he kind of reaches that kind of natural sort of end point and goes to step down, I think he would kind of approach him at that point.
Okay. So he narrows his eyes a little bit at you, but he does nod in acknowledgement that you are probably also noble because of your fine clothes. And
Good day, Senator.
Is an acceptable day. Yes.
Yes. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Sir Kelsey Rutherwood, recently returned from Tianjia. May I have your acquaintance?
I suppose Senator Carthus.
A pleasure, sir. I was quite interested in your speech. Perhaps you could tell me a little more about where your position stems from, if I may be so bold.
He explains that he was his family were his family were victims of the Grand Campaign during when which is like 700 or so years ago now, 600, 700 years ago. But it lasted until the 4600, so quite a long time. The Kadiran army was quite like brutal to the people of Zimar, which is where his family is from. And he basically just goes on about this for a very long time. And like it seems like he's got a lot of a grudge against something that happened many hundred years ago.
Perfectly understandable. Yes, I can understand the harm that these events must have caused your family, and the echoes of that still touch you all to this day. If I might be so bold, my journeys in Tianjia have given me more insights into Taldor as a nation and where we stand with our contemporaries. Would it be impertinent of me to suggest that perhaps we have a need to revitalize the empire before striking forth beyond our borders? One sees signs of decline, sad to say, when compared with some of the nations within Tianjia, and I for one would be keen to help restore, revitalize our country.
Um. He seems to get a bit annoyed at that. Saying things along the lines of like, "Oh, are you questioning the validity? No, like, are you questioning the need for a war against Kadira, that kind of thing."
I question only whether, as a nation, we are ready for such action. I worry that it may overextend us. I would certainly be keen to maybe at a later date kind of speak with you on the topic of how we could strengthen our country.
I think then he'll probably. You can make a diplomacy check, I think, here, or deception.
That's blind as well, isn't it?
Not in this case.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So he seems to kind of calm down a little bit, and he says, "Well, if we would follow General Pythareus more furtively, perhaps we wouldn't be in this situation. And you would know about Maxillar Pythareus, like the general of the Talon army."
I've heard much about his military competence. I know little else of his opinions and position on such things, having just returned from 10 years serving my country abroad. I'll then kind of drop in perhaps we could speak after the grand convocation.
Day of exaltation, yeah.
The grand day of exaltation. Perhaps we might speak further on this after then. I appreciate that you're probably a very busy man ahead of that day. Although perhaps not on the bridge. I've heard rumours about, and I'm going to lean in and say, I've heard rumours that the area below us is sometimes subject to arson afterwards, and I'll kind of just pay attention to if he reacts to that.
He seems slightly flustered. Not like flustered, sorry, that's the wrong word. Like slightly taken aback. That's the word. Like arson. I haven't done anything about that.
Okay. And I say perhaps you could suggest a cafe or another place near the Senate Hill.
Yeah. He suggests the Porthmoss Club, which is a high-class tea house over here.
Yeah, perhaps we could meet there. Should we say the day after the grand day? What time would be convenient for yourself?
Yeah, he gives you a time in the afternoon. Just making a note of that.
I'll kind of nod to him and say, thank you for your time, Senator.
Right. Okay.
That seems like a pretty solid clue, I think. Let's see. Are we? I think I can. I'll go and talk with the with Arya.
Yeah.
And leader kind of approaches her and taps her on the shoulder. Ah, hello.
She kind of looks down at you. Hello?
Companion of this one.
Ah,
Oh yeah, she's one of the friends I was talking about that has knowledge on this kind of stuff, magic and stuff that I don't understand.
Yes, magic and stuff. Would you catch me up? I have been keeping my distance.
I think she may, or either she or a place she's staying at, or an item she has, may in fact be haunted, as she's plagued by nightmares of the fires. Again, I'm still keeping this hushed, so other people around won't hear.
yeah.
I see. Good to know. Well, if you are being haunted, there are ways we can observe that. Do you have a knowledge of when these hauntings began?
Yeah, she says that it's been ever since the start of the festival leading up to the Grand Day of Exaltation.
And
So
prior
basically the
to
start of the
that?
week.
And prior to that?
Prior to that, she was not particularly aware of these fires. She knew vaguely about them as part of her history education, but she only heard there was 2 fires in Eastport over the past 10 years or something. So.
And what of the third fire? And he just trying to catch her with that one by springing that on her.
Yeah, she says there was a third fire.
What do you know of your father? The late man passed away. Yes.
It was her uncle, but yeah.
Your uncle, Tercio.
Yeah.
Turio.
Turio. She says, "Oh, well, we never really got along, but."
Yes. You have no memories of any sort of business there. Any, any activities they may have been up to? Any unusual business, or perhaps unusual circumstances under which your bankruptcy began, your family's ill fortune?
She kind of shakes her head and says, "Uncle Turio died about 10 years ago. I don't."
Yes, he died about 10 years ago, but it is in his documents that we have records of a third fire, which was covered up by someone with quite a bit of wealth or power.
She looks shocked and says, "I don't know enough about that. Maybe you'd be better off asking one of his compatriots, but."
What sort of compatriots did he keep?
Well, there was the Gala family and the Voculus family. I believe
Gala and
Manila. Yeah.
Voculus.
Gala, Voculus. Whoops, no, Gala, not Gal. And yeah. She says, but I believe Manila's dead now, 7 years back.
Yes. Manila?
Manila Voculus.
She is dead about 10 years back. It was
7
around the
years.
same time. 7 years back.
Mhm.
Well, then we can speak to Gala then. And do you know of any other associates? Any sorts? Did he keep company? Sorts in the criminal world, or even the politically radical?
She blinks at when you say criminal, and then frowns when you say radical, and says, "No, of course not."
Are you sure?
Would you like to make a perception check?
Yes,
cents
I
motive?
absolutely would. And probably
think-
the person next to me who's much better at reading people can.
Yeah, I would be wanting to keep an eye out for anything
Mm.
like that as well.
Okay, for once, yeah, Nita's actually not good at perception, being a pretty neurodivergent person who is not very good with reading social cues, but she's pretty perceptive today. She had her coffee. She's very awake.
Mm.
Is it meant to be public or blind?
It's meant to be blind.
Oh.
Right.
Oh. Okay, let's see. We won't keep the new result, but blind.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work if you do it that way.
Damn it. Okay. One
Yeah,
more
it's
that's blind. Here we go.
okay. So yeah, Nita, you're not 100% certain. Kaylin, you're pretty sure that when Nita mentioned radical things, that's when she got nervous.
Well, are you sure?
I'm sure my uncle did not keep company with radicals or criminals.
Very well. Nita glances at Kaylin.
I'm just trying to think of what I might do here.
Mhm.
Can I? I'd actually like to move in and see if I can whisper in her ear that I myself personally know for a fact that he did keep connections with certain radicals,
Mhm.
and ask if she would rather speak of this with me and my friends somewhere a bit more secluded away from the general public.
Okay. Yeah, I think you could try and convince her to do that.
Yeah?
But it sounds like you don't necessarily guaranteed know that, so that might be a deception check rather than a diplomacy.
Oh yeah, I'm lying through my teeth.
That's a very smart move. That's a gamble, but I like it.
Right. So as you whisper this to her, her eyes widen slightly, ever so slightly, and Nita, you notice her hand kind of twitch a little bit towards this presumably ceremonial rapier she keeps at her hip. Then she sighs and says, "Yes, perhaps we should meet elsewhere."
I'll go back to whispering in a way that my friend can hear me. Where would you prefer to meet?
She gives you an address of, she gives you an address of like a kind of decent kind of like what's the term? A supper club, I think is what they call it.
Ooh, fancy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like the best in the best, but it's pretty good. And yeah, she says that you can meet there this evening.
All right,
Wow.
I'll let my friend know that we will conclude this conversation somewhere a bit more private, where we can be a bit more open and honest with each other.
Yes. Very
Alright.
good.
But with that, I will bid her goodbye.
Okay.
In
Nita
order
does
to
a
meet up with Elaine.
short little bow with one arm in front, one arm behind her back.
Alright. Very nice.